Hi, my name is Tina Wissen, a P-Town subby, also admin for the Polymer Clay Pens group. Today we're going to be talking about mixing color. People have had questions. What colors do I choose for my canes? What colors do I choose for my background? How do I come up with the best color scheme for my design? These are all very important questions to getting a great pen. So let's get started. Alright, here is a picture of the basic color wheel. The color wheel consists of 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Here's the red, here's the yellow, here's the blue. Now when you mix red and yellow, you get orange. This is considered a secondary color. When you mix blue and yellow, you get green. This is another secondary color. And when you mix blue and red, you get violet. And this is the last of the secondary colors. Now after secondary colors is when you mix a secondary color and a primary color, you can get what are called intermediate colors. So in between the blue and violet is blue violet, in between the violet and red is red violet, and so on. Using the technique that I taught in the last video with making a Skinner blend, I blend the standard blue with the standard yellow. These are the 2 primary colors. And as you can tell, when you start to mix from blue to yellow, it gets this dark blue to a greenish tint. Now if you go and change it, and if you add a little bit more yellow, you get the yellow green, a little bit more blue, and you get the blue green. Or if you do equal parts, you get the standard green. The same works for the 2 primary colors of red and yellow. If you look at the way it gradiates from red to yellow, it gets very orange in the center, because red and yellow make orange. If you add more yellow, you get a yellow orange, and if you add more red, you get a red orange. Now when it comes to the primary colors of red and blue makes purple. But as you can tell in the Skinner blend, the purple has become very dark. That's because it's a violet, which is a darker purple. Now the purple that is sold by Cato, called violet, is not as dark as this. If you look down here, you have the blue purple, you have the red purple, and then you have the violet that is sold by Cato. As an option, you can go to the lighter blue that they offer. It ends up making it a little bit grayer combination, and then a little bit grayer ending result. So it depends on what your goals are. I primarily use this purple or violet color that is provided by Cato, but you can still make it by adding different colors to it, and you can even lighten it. Using equal parts of red, white, and blue, I'm going to show you how this makes it into a lighter purple than what I previously showed. All you have to do is use either an acrylic roller or your pasta machine. I'm first going to start with my acrylic roller, and I'm going to flatten it so it's flat enough to be able to go through the pasta machine. You can also start to do some of the mixing by folding it into itself. This will take some time, so you have to be patient. But eventually these colors are going to start to mix together. You're not doing any particular pattern, but as you see, the more you mix it, the less it's true colors anymore. So I'm going to finish this in the pasta machine and show you the results. Okay, here we are set up at the pasta machine, and here is my partially mixed piece of clay of red, white, and blue. We're going to start running it through at the lowest setting and then see how far we have to go before we start to see purple. Alright, there's a few times and we have a light lavender color. I'm going to keep going. And here's the end result. Not quite as purple as the purple that comes from Kato, but definitely very different from the light blue purple combination and the dark blue purple combination. So you have a lot of flexibility and are able to do many different shades. Another way that you can change clay colors is by adding or creating liquid clay combinations. Now this is a little bit trickier, but if you've ever done any type of casting, you could find that it's got some similarities to it. The biggest thing that's different is it never sets up until it's baked. So you can't wait for it to get hard like you do with casting. Okay, for the liquid clay demonstration, I'm going to be introducing a few extra tools because when you have these bottles of liquid, it's a little bit difficult to actually apply it the way you want to. So sometimes I will use a paintbrush, and to help mix, I will use these palette trays to be able to get the right color that I'm looking for. Oftentimes you can just apply the different layers across. This is just a basic white piece of clay. To show you, you can add multiple colors. I'm just going to put down some color. Here's some purple. And then some red. And some yellow, which is basically all the same colors that you have as a solid form, but now you're able to do different types of mixing than you would normally. So using either the paintbrush, your finger, whatever you're comfortable doing, you can apply different techniques to them just as if you were doing watercolors. Now of course, if you're going to be using a paintbrush, you'll need to have close by some water to be able to clean off the paintbrushes in between use. Otherwise, if you go to the next color, you'll see it blends in with it, and then therefore creating another color, which may have been your goal in the first place. But if not, you will have to clean it off in between use, just like you do when you paint. Alright, now comes the final step of my demonstration today. Now, you don't always have to use color to change colors or mix colors. You can also use products that you may have been more familiar with if you were a caster. When you get into Pearlex powders or glitters, there's all kinds of things that you can add to your liquid paint or liquid clay to be able to make it look different. So here's a couple of examples. I have some purple powder here. Now this is going to be a messy demonstration, but it's just to give the point. Now just to keep in mind, when you use glitters or when you use some type of enhancement, it's going to get everywhere. This is what happens with using the powder in liquid form. And also, as you go on, you're going to find that you may want to wear gloves, or you may want to protect your area a little bit better, because as you finish, you're going to find that it's everywhere. Alright, I added a little bit more of the purple liquid into my product. This started off just plain white, so it started off that color. Now it is more of a light lavender, something that I could never achieve with this hard clay that I started with the violet. I can also darken it by adding more powders to it and get the color I want. So there's a lot of flexibility with using either the mica powders or the liquid clay, or a combination of both of them, to get you to the point where you want to be for your colors. So let's have some fun and let's see your results.